The schedule is out, and we will talk more about the Worlds next week in our World Championship preview show. But there's also been a rule change this year for the first time. Well, for a while now in the first round, I should say, there's not been a tiebreak in the final set. If it gets to 2-2, that was the last leg. But now they're doing that for all rounds to avoid sessions overrunning. Do you agree with the change?
Well, I don't agree with the change, but I can understand the reasons that they've made this decision, and it's fair enough that the PDC weren't going to do the big announcement about this rule because, as we've seen on social media today, when they put the schedule out, there was a paragraph in there stating about this change, that tiebreak rule wouldn't be in effect this year. And there's been a lot of disappointment from fans that they're going to miss out on potentially some great matches not going into that tiebreak. And as I say, we're going to come on to talk about the fans coming back, which has been confirmed, and you're going to hear from our good friend of the show, Matthew Keane, and his thoughts on it. But I think one of the big reasons this has been done is to make sure that we don't get any overrunning in the sessions, because to get the fans back in for this World Championship is the first time that we're going to see fans back in the UK since March. The PDC have had to jump through an awful lot of hurdles, and if they can make this World Championship run as smooth as possible, get the sessions done, or be sure that they're going to be done at a certain time more than if they'd have kept the tiebreak rule, then I can see why they've done it. And I've only got to give one example really for this, and it was a session that I was at a few years ago now, 2016, 2017, an unbelievable game between Andrew Gilding, John Henderson in the first or second round. It went 28 legs, went to a sudden death leg, and I think that was the third or fourth game of the session. There was still another game to go, and they finished at, I think it's around about 5:15, and there was, as I say, another game still to play, which finished around 6 o'clock, and that was a relatively easy game, I think, for the player that won it in the end. So if that had gone a long way as well, we could have been talking about a session that ran into 6:30, 7 o'clock, and the times that we usually expect these games to, the evening sessions to start, is 7 o'clock. So it'd have been eaten into another session. They've said ticket holders, they're going to all have to arrive at a certain time, all going to get different times to turn up to keep with the social distancing and all the rules. So I can understand it. We're going to miss out potentially on some big moments. Only got to think about two games that stand out straight away from World Championships. Phil Taylor, Raymond van Barneveld, and Rob Cross, Michael van Gerwen both went to sudden death legs. We're not going to get that drama this year, but I do think we're still going to see some brilliant games, and hopefully we'll see the tiebreak will come back next year.
Yeah, and I think the key thing in everything that you said is this year, and hopefully it comes back next year, because I'm in full agreement. I think it is right for this year that something had to be done differently to ensure to the greatest extent possible the safety of the players and the safety of the fans. You cannot take the risk that fans, the limited number of fans that will be there, but still there will be fans, because of a session running late, aren't able to find safe and affordable transit home if the sessions go too late. So I think this year it had to be done who knows what's going to happen? You could end up with a match that still goes the maximum number of legs and have someone walk off because there's a draft on stage and causing a 45-minute delay. Things can happen. But as they often do at the World Championships. But one easy way to limit the chance of that is to at least get rid of the tiebreak. And the tiebreak is awesome. As you mentioned, you go back to that Rob Cross, Michael van Gerwen match, you go back in the World Championship finals previously, the Barney Taylor match, the Painter Taylor match. Was it the Gregory Taylor match back in the BDO? There's been quite a few that have gone to that tiebreak in the final set, especially in a World final. But in any late in the tournament match, it's great to watch. We're going to miss that for a year, but I think the change had to be done. But like you said, hopefully next year it's back to normal. I still don't like the fact that the match play has sudden death. I wish they would play out, although I can understand at some point you just got to say, we can't have this go on forever. But I still disagree. I would like to see some of those matches go on forever. I believe Hybrex and Hendo would still be playing right now if they didn't introduce the sudden death. But yeah, no, I think it was needed for this year, but I hope it's just this year.